Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am not alone. I am John. Well, restart.
Bleh, bleh, bleh.
Hey guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I'm not alone. I'm joined by Nub Kex, Nub Raids. Nub, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, it's all good. We're good. I've got a dog squeaking her toy and flashing into my leg.
He's
Thank
not
you.
fidgety, ladies and gentlemen. He's okay. He's got a dog. He's got good old Willow
Yep.
at the feet. So she's going to be a guest. Maybe she'll make a special appearance later on in the video. Hey, man, a lot of update stuff going on right now in Raid. We have update 8.20. Everybody's made videos on it. As always, I'm late, so I figured, you know what? Let's have a conversation about this. Moreover, I want to kind of deep dive a little bit into some of the big kind of macro themes that I'm noticing on Raid Shadow Legends and see if you agree, disagree with any of this stuff. First off, what are your overall thoughts? Like, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of all of this update that we're going to be getting here?
Man, actually, I'm overall positive. I'd say the two words for me that sum it up are definitely power creep, right?
Yes, that was the biggest thing for me too. That's what I want to talk a lot about in today's video, but go on.
Yeah. No, I was thinking like just the new champions, right? Soulstones now giving you more stuff, blanks being more powerful. It just seems like, a real push towards kind of a new way of looking at the game. Like it's something I've been thinking a lot about the last few days, especially with events being really tough and kind of nonstop at the moment. It's like, okay, how do we play Raid Shadow Legends in 2024? You know, what's different? How do we get the most out of this massive new surge of power that's coming to the game? It is quite a different playing field now than it was this time last year. It's changed a lot.
Absolutely. And I do want to get into that because I don't know how you feel about that, but like personally, this is maybe this speaks to my own psyche more than anything else, man. But like, I get kind of overwhelmed and kind of anxious. I don't know why. Like, it's kind of embarrassing to say about a video game, but when they come out with a bunch of new stuff, you know, that's all powerful, like instead of getting like hyped about it, I'm like, oh, I don't know about this, you know, but we do need new content. So it's a catch-22 in these games, you know, it's not all bad. And speaking of that, not all bad, I want to talk about some of the best things I feel like in this update, right? And that is the changes to Soulstones and to the wish list of Soulstones. I've always thought that the rates on Soulstones were pretty dang bad. Like they were like borderline criminal, these rates, especially the wish list, man. Like, give us something. So now they changed the wish list to 8x, right? So like that's obviously a good thing. I mean, we could all say that we want even more than that, right? But ultimately, like, you know, good, cool, solid, right? And then they also have the new chances. I'm going to show the old chances. These are the old chances right now to pull a legendary out of the various, you know, Soulstones. And then we see the new chances right here, right? I want to make sure, yeah. So they went up, obviously, in their chances on all the Soulstones as well. So that's all like pretty much a good thing. There's not much more to say about it, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising move as well. Like I think, you know, obviously we've all complained, I think, about Iron Twins not giving enough stuff and that Soulstones could be better, but it sort of came a bit out of nowhere that they were like, okay, yeah,
I know
the chances for Soul, we'll make them better then. Okay,
I was not expecting it at all. Yeah,
unexpected and very positive. So yeah, like you said, we'll see. I haven't actually seen like anyone work out the proper maths of like how much the new wish list is going to affect things. Maybe it's still very small. Maybe it needs more, but it's a massive step. It's 4 times better than it was before, right?
I hear you. From 2 to 8 is pretty dang good, no matter how you look at it. So yeah, I mean, I would love these to be. Listen, I mean, if we're trying to talk about perfect world, it's like, hey, how about not getting Soulstones for champions we don't have, like as a good starting point, you know?
Right.
But, you know, given the system that we had, this is obviously better. And there's no really, you know, denying that. I want to jump right into this. I did not see this one coming at all. I'm not sure if we got a heads up that I missed in the creator, you know, chat or whatever, but the Banner Lord Unity A-Slim the Stalwart, right? First of all, my first thought, man, on this whole thing was, of course it's a Banner Lord. Of course it's Taurus and Marichka getting more powerful, right? This is insane. If we just look at this dude, I mean, in my opinion here, the Banner Lord Unity faction bonus, these are not like small little incremental bonuses that are negligible in the grand scheme of things. These are massive. Instantly activates a skill whenever faction ally 1, instantly activates a skill whenever an ally is revived. Will not put the skill on cooldown. If any other multiple champions are on the team by the skill, only one will activate. Okay, number 2, also places a block damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. Number 3 is buff placed by the skill cannot be removed. And then it just keeps getting more insane on all of his skills, man. Like, where's the other one? Look at this one. Faction allies under shield are immune to stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, petrification, true fear. Ally protect buffs have a 20% chance to counterattack when they're hit. This is just on a normal legendary champion. This feels like a new class of mythical champion, man. So thoughts on the faction, thoughts on all this stuff. To me, again, I just think power creep central. This is insane.
Yeah, I think you put it exactly right. You know, it is almost like a new type of mythical. You don't have the form changing, but in terms of power, like he is so strong. He is ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious what they're going to do. Like with mythicals, we've been getting like one per faction as we go along. I wonder if this is going to be the same thing, like one faction at a time, just one by one. Like, are there going to be multiple eventually? Or is this going to be there's only ever one faction unity guy per faction and that's it? It's like they're so powerful, like it's crazy. Another thing, we didn't mention it there, but I don't know if you saw it. They've said that you cannot get these faction unity champions. There's only one right now, and again, facepalm. They put him in the Taras Marishka faction, dude. And he's really
it's
strong.
It's another
with them.
soft buff to Taras Marishka. But yeah, they're not pullable from shards, right?
That's right. Yeah, you can't get them from shards. They said you have to earn them from in-game events, which that raises a big question mark right now because I
the
touched on
dark
this
side of the update.
Yeah, we're being hammered like these Titan events, the Torment one, now the one for the Xenogray Soul. They've been so difficult, so intensive. They're like fusions, but way harder between fusions. Yeah. So now it's like, okay, you got to balance fusions, you got that, then you've got guaranteed events, you've got heroes path stuff, so much stuff. It's like, what do you even save resources for anymore? Like, what do you target? What's the value? I would certainly say right now, looking at how insanely good that guy is, I'm actually going to test him out in the test server soonish as well. I don't have Taras Marishka, so it'll be like, how good is he with, I don't know, like Kasha and Timid and Staltis is probably what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But like he
cool
seems
combo.
pretty worthwhile going for if you can. So it's going to be a big question. Like, how obtainable is it? Is it going to be like you need 50 sacred shards, or you got to do 100,000 points in a hero's path at champion training? Like, is it going to be crazy, or is it going to be something that people can actually do? Like, what is the goal for it? That's a really big question mark. I think the right way to look at it is to be pretty nervous, I think.
Yeah, man. I'm like, this is what I was getting to at the beginning of the video, dude. It's just like, I feel at one point, I want to be real. On one part of me, it feels like, hey, this is something that should have been in the game a long time ago. This is actually cool. Like an actual bonus to having faction team members on the same team. So like conceptually, I do like that idea. I guess it really just comes down to me to what you said. Like, how is it going to be like if you don't have this dude, you are really, really hurting. And if you're really, really hurt, and the only way to get him is to spend $1 billion, basically? Like, is that the game? Is that the cycle we're going for? And is that the only cycle that can exist? He's not pullable from shards, even with a shard event every day in this game. I don't know. It stresses me out, man. It stresses me out a little bit, because you hit the nail on the head, bro. It's just like they have new events. It feels like every day for something new, and this guy seems so much better than the last ones they have. It just keeps getting better and more must-haves. And at the end of the day, really, it's just about having fun in the game. But like when they put something out like this out there, and the other thing I think of too, and no one mentions because I don't even know what you say about this, but like, dude, how am I supposed to keep track of this? Imagine if we had one of these in every faction, and then we're going in like live arena or something. Like, I'm supposed to keep track. There's a 20% chance, or with the A2 ability, they all counterattack. Oh my god,
It's pretty complicated. Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting comparison to the mythicals as well. It's like, for me, I don't have any, like literally zero mythicals so far, and they've been out for a good while now.
Yeah.
That's the worry with the.
You close to Lady Mikage, though?
I feel the same way about the unities as the mythicals. I actually think they're pretty cool. I think it's a fun addition to the game. For me, the bigger question is, are they actually obtainable? Like for the average person, like how long is it? I will get a mythical eventually, of course. You know, getting close to Primal Mercy. Mikage will come soon, but you know that takes months. Will it be the same with the faction unity thing? I think certainly the expectation is, unless you're going to spend a lot of money, I think there's almost no way you're going to get all these faction unity guys from in-game events. I think they're going to be really tough.
Yeah.
But you might get one or two, and that could be kind of fun, maybe, to build stuff around. I could enjoy that. But yeah, I think if people are going, okay, I'm free to play, I'm going to get every faction unity champ, like, they're not going to let that happen, right? It's not going to be that easy, I'm afraid.
You know what would be cool though, dude? Like this is what I feel like is the case. You know, I don't want to speculate too early. We don't have anything in games, so disclaimer.
Yeah.
But like this is a lot of the times the case with Plarium, right? It's like the concept is really cool. The implementation is where we have the issue. For example, this is an awesome idea if they were to come out with 20 new levels of every faction war, and at the end of each level, you got that faction war's leader or whatever. Like that would be awesome, sick. You know? Yeah. But that's not how they did it. It's like instead.
No. Well, I mean, maybe it will be. Maybe.
Well, you know what?
I don't know.
I don't think by their words that's how it's going to be. But if I'm wrong, I will be very happy to say so. What about the super raids unlocked everywhere? That was another one too. We've been complaining about time in this game for a long time. Now, I shouldn't say everywhere though, should I?
No, there's some notable exceptions, like Minotaur, for example, which could do with it.
Minnow, bro. They hate Minnow. They hate it.
Yeah, like even the potion keeps, you don't do them much, but that would be nice. But yeah, again, it's a great step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, they've had super raids in the dungeons rotating for ages now, so that's great to get them permanent. I was surprised and pleasantly surprised that they added them in for Phantom Shogun and the Sand Devil. That was a really good move, so that's great. Hopefully, you know, it can be frustrating when the quality of life is sort of paced out, you know, bit by bit, but hopefully we could see improvements to, you know, Iron Twins and Minotaur in terms of time, even like super raids for campaign or something. I'd love to see more of that stuff in the future. You know, I'd like it now, but hopefully it will come in the future. Now they sort of lock these things in as permanent. So it's a good step.
I agree with you. It is. In terms of these quality of life things, they do come incrementally. So we have to, like, obviously we have to be accustomed to that and ready for that. So I completely agree. Like, this is a good thing. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. However, again, it's just like, I don't understand for the life of me, as someone who doesn't do a lot of minnow farming, to be fair, like I'm at 800 gem my masteries for most cases.
I do that nearly all the time now too. Yeah. I'm lazy now.
But part of the reason I don't farm my masteries, and this is probably why they like it this way, right? Like this is probably exactly why, is because it's too arduous at level 15. Like, hello, level 15 on that dungeon? That's still the case, right? I haven't got in there in a while. They haven't even added the extra dungeon levels, man, let alone adding super raids or whatever. So, like, I would love to see a change there. But honestly, I mean, I just said it, right? The fact that I'm still diamonding most of my masteries or whatever, gemming most of my masteries, that probably says it all right there, right? Why they're not adding to Minnow, right?
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, and you said the same thing, right? So
yeah. But there comes a time where they have to go, okay, the quality of life, the player enjoyment has to take precedence here.
Oh yeah, because we're not in the majority either, you know. Like I guarantee most viewers probably farm their masteries. You know, you guys let us know.
Yeah. So
okay, let's get to the big thing, man, and that is Maude. I watched your video.
Did you see their video today? She's like Maude or something. It's like when Kale,
no, I didn't.
He was revealed that he's Kyle.
I'm playing it in the background, but I'm not actually listening to it. It's Maude.
It's something like that. Yeah, it's something that makes absolutely no sense from like an English pronunciation perspective. So
okay, all right,
something like that.
Okay, so Maude. So first of all, what do you think of her? Like, do you think she's a pretty good champ? Because I didn't watch the video, but I saw on my feed yesterday, my YouTube feed, somebody say that like she's totally useless. It was all in the thumbnail. It was like totally useless. Takes too long to get her. But by the time that you get her, like it was all in the title or whatever. By the time that you get her, you don't need her. If you need her, it takes too long to get her. That was like the premise, right? Didn't watch the video, and shout out to whoever that was. But then I looked at, I was traveling, then I was sick and blah, blah, blah. I didn't even look at the kit until like yesterday, right? After I saw that video headline. And I actually kind of disagree, like just on the premise. I actually think she's pretty good. What do you think of her like in a vacuum?
In a vacuum, I think the person might actually be right on that, but in a vacuum, if you ignore the acquisition,
Yep.
okay, I think she's a solid. Yeah, she's solid, right? She's got a really strong passive, the two Hanorak style, Doom Priest style
Yes.
passive.
Yes.
That's always fantastic. You know, she's
See,
got
this is a
revive.
passive you can use in the end-to-end game, man. Like, listen, we're going to talk about the rest. Don't think I'm just going to gloss over how long it takes to get her, guys. That's going to be the main topic here. But, like, I think you can use her in the end game, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I think she's a good, solid champion. Like, you know, if I had her right now, I most likely use her in a few areas right now for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
love the decrease and increase. I love the heal. This champion's max HP, really strong heal. Then we get the revive. We've got and again, the passive is where it's all at for me, right? I think she could be definitely really, really good in various areas, you know? Anyway, good Hydra support. I mean, you could just keep going on. But anyway, this is that's the good news is she looks cool. You guys probably already know by this point that you get her from changing in your previous fragments and you get these chests. Oh boy, I watched your video, dude, on the test server. And why don't you? I just set you up. Why don't you tell us? You know, what were your first thoughts, and then you know, how did it play out?
My first thoughts, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they've done this, right? When I clicked into that test server and you click the info, the drop tab, and it said you drop 1 to 3 Maude fragments per chest. And that's not like you definitely get them. That's alongside a whole bunch of other rewards. I just
That's the problem,
so hard.
right?
Yeah, it's so low. Yeah.
It's like most chests you don't get her, right? Is that?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Like I think I cracked a 10 pull and got maybe 5 fragments and 10 chests. And I think for me, playing for over 3 years now, I think I had like 40 chests. So I think after 3 years of playing, I'll have about 20 Maude, whatever fragments at the end of it. So I'm like, yeah,
dude.
Pass my account on to a child or a grandchild or something at this rate, and they can play with her eventually.
Right? You can pass on your yeah. They'll be ready for Maude, the little grandkid. Yeah, guys, I have bad news in case you missed this video. Well, you just heard it. He Nub literally exchanged, I think, every fragment you ever had, right? Every fragment you've collected over 3 years or so. And you were able to get like 1/5 of a Maude. Oh no, dude. Yeah. So that means I want to say like most whales, like the Krakens of the Krakens, I don't even think they'll get her by that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm thinking like for a Kraken or like big whale, like maybe, right? Because you know, people like a big Kraken might skip some fusions and be like, I'll just pull them anyway. It doesn't even matter. And they might just pick up fragments along the way, right?
Okay. Maybe.
Or, you know, again, you might be maxing out all the summoning events and you're just grabbing all those extra fragments too. So I have seen comments from like some of my viewers that had like 2 or 3 times as many as me. But yeah, I don't know if I saw a comment of anyone who was close to actually getting her. Like I think a few people might be around 60 fragments, but that's still quite short.
And that's kind of where it goes to that viewer's point, right? And that is I mean, or that YouTube channel's point. It's like, dude, maybe it's not a question of like by the time that you get her, kind of like the Doom Tower champions, right? Like most of the Doom Tower hard champions, by the time you get them, like a Basatha can help out 99% of players, but then when you get them, you likely don't have a massive use case for them. Maybe it will be that place in some, you know, in some extent. Although I do feel like with that passive, even if it takes you like 5 years to get her, I think, well, I don't know. Who knows what the game is going to be in 5 years, man? Probably everybody will be like, cleanse 15 debuffs off of the passive or something. I want to get your thoughts on Polymorph, man, because you're one of my go-to channels when it comes to just deep diving analysis on anything really in Raid. Probably one of my most watched channels too. So I wanted to get your thoughts on Polymorph because I heard some people that were like really just, this isn't going to do anything, screw you, Plarium. And a lot of people who, I think yourself, I don't want to mischaracterize, but like I think you said this is a pretty good, like obviously it's a good change. I mean, it's moving it in the better direction, right? But how do you feel about the Polymorph change?
I mean, well, I think it's a great step in the right direction. I think also it's really good, again, to be clear to people from the content creator chat, like Plarium, and even we got to talk to the Plarium guys, like they really want to make Polymorph more balanced, right? That is their goal, is that it has a place in the game. But they don't want it to be like as dominant and unlocking stuff out. And I think they're aware of that with Taras Marishka as well, that you can't really counter them with block passive skills because that stuff has been getting so hard wrecked by by the polymorph.
Polymorph, yeah.
Like they really know it's a problem and they want to change it. So I think that's good. And if this nerf to polymorph doesn't do enough, that they will nerf it again in the future. I think that it does need to be nerfed more in the future. I think it's too strong. And my worry with this patch, like we didn't talk about the blessings, how the stats are changing, but blessings now give you so many stats. They took some of the stats out of 6-star and sort of spread them all the way through the others.
And every blessing gives every stat now.
Yeah, so like my concern at the moment is that like kind of high accuracy, like let's say bomb champions that before wouldn't have been running something for attack stats or accuracy stats. Now you can just slap them in polymorph, and now you've got like really high accuracy dudes sitting there in polymorph. You can have lots more people in polymorph than before.
Ooh, like so the hidden downside of the stat rebalance, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. I can't see any way where that doesn't happen. Right? I mean, I don't know.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Is there any of these rebalanced blessings that really has you super interested? Like emergency heal looks pretty cool, you know, for example.
Yeah, that one really stands out. And the interesting thing is they nerfed it a little bit. They let it proc, I think, once per turn now, whereas before it could go infinitely. But that seems super strong, especially if you got someone in a blood shield accessory, right? Or like a Duchess, like someone that's bringing out little shields. That seems really powerful. So yeah, that one looks massive and a really big deal for anyone progressing in the game, right? Suddenly a blood shield accessory with even a small blessing can make someone extremely tanky and survivable. That's huge for like Faction Wars, Doom Tower, everywhere, really. It's massive. I'm very curious about the Faultless Defense one, which sounds really weak, but I'm curious if it might actually be okay in Arena, where basically you reflect damage back when you put out.
Yeah, okay. I'll get them all confused now with the reworks. I'm like, what does that one do again? The new one? That's the one that you have like basically a built-in kind of reflect type thing. Yeah,
and it's quite small, but I mean, there has been some fun stuff in Arena with reflecting damage, like the Dwarf Mythical who can reflect damage. Like I've seen him, kill a Taurus or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be interesting, with like a Mitrala or a Sifi or something like that. Good champion putting out increased defense. Maybe it's okay. I mean, I haven't tested it. Maybe it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And it does nothing.
But it's all about getting those little edges, Like I can't count the number of times War Chief has killed my seer or whatever,
Yeah, exactly. So I'm intrigued by that one, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like you said, actually, good point. If they ever add like, imagine in the Cursed City, like if they put in another difficulty and it's like, you're fighting, let's say, Awakened champions in the wave and they've got blessings now, which I could easily see happening. And you've got to fight like maybe a War Chief, right, with the reflect damage reflecting as well. That could totally happen.
It could be.
Could be interesting.
There could be some fun stuff there.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, Nubs, I have all the new champions. I mean, this has been the theme of the video, right? Is the again the dark side of all of these new amazing champions being added to the game. Listen, we're not going to go through all of them in today's video. We'll link though this website right here, guys. So you can see every single one of the new champions, their entire kits. There's obviously a lot here. Notably as well, there's no epics and one rare, so they've really moved away from adding lower rarities, of course. Any of these, I hear a lot of talk about a couple of these just being absolutely like the new most powerful champions in the game, specifically Alaz, the Sun Bearer. Is there any of these that really strike you as like, holy moly, this just takes things to an absolute new level?
Yeah, well, I think Alaz is the one I haven't tested him yet, and I'm really interested to, because he looks like he's going to be a big damage dealer with obviously insane utility, right? A team counterattack, it's the first time that's been added, I think, since the game came out, which is big. And then he's got I think he looks really fun on his alternate form as well, where you can like place burns and explode them against Stone Skin and put out fears. That could be really powerful. And he's got a lot of extra hit mechanics in his kit. So I'm very interested to test that guy out and see how he can do, not only in Arena, right, but again, potentially as like a burner with big AoE damage and counterattack stuff for Hydra as well. Like, yeah, he's my number one.
I never thought I'd see the day that there was a fourth counterattack champion in the game. I really did, but yeah, I mean, it is some of these mythicals, especially some of these new ones. It's just
right.
What don't they do? You know, it's like they instantly activate burns. He's got counterattacks. He's got nukes. He's got provokes. He's got block damage. He's got increased defense. Like, what the heck? He's got AoEs on the A1, extra hits, full heals. I mean, like, what the heck, man? Some of these mythicals, it's like unbelievable power creeping. Listen, I mean, we've been talking about it here for 20 minutes plus. I'll throw it to you guys. Like, how do you guys feel overall? Are you like optimistic about this, 2024 in raid, generally speaking?
Yeah, for me, generally speaking, I am, which maybe I feel sometimes I can be a bit of an outlier there. Like, I do have times where I'm definitely, down on the game. At the moment, even with this patch, I'm actually pretty positive. Like, I'm quite excited to see where the faction unity stuff goes. And again, I think that, hopefully the Soulstones is a good move. Like, there's several good moves in the right direction in this patch, and it could be quite fun. Like, this is the year where people will actually start, most people will start getting 1 or 2 mythicals. You might get some faction unity stuff, and you could start building really unique teams that are sort of unique to your account around it. And that to me is the most appealing thing about this. Is like, well, for me, I've got this mythical and I've got this faction unity champion, but you've got those ones. We're actually going to play the game in quite a different way based off of what we've actually got. I find that really fun. So I'm hopeful for that. We'll see if that actually happens or not. Maybe it doesn't, but I'm hopeful for it. So I'm feeling good right now. Yeah, I'm interested to see what's coming.
I love it, man. I love it. Do you want to bring Willow in to say goodbye?
Yeah. We've just been playing tug down here.
While you pick up Willow and bring her in, there she is.
She's a big dog. Willow's pro tip to people is you can, because we're going to get a free blessings change with the blessing rework. Like, I presume it's coming on Thursday. If you want to test out one of the new ones, right, if you still have a free change, you probably do it right now. Switch someone over, and then you get the free
good
change.
Call. You get the free on top of that. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call. Hey, Willow. Oh, what a cutie. We love it. The 3-way guest. I fall somewhere in between you and everybody else, I guess, right? Because I think what I said earlier in the collab is kind of summarizes my thoughts. Is great ideas, poor execution. Both with the like. Listen, finally something to do with our fragments in the game. 2 thumbs up. The fact that it takes 20 years to get her. 2 thumbs down. Faction leaders, 2 thumbs up. The fact that they can't be pulled from shards, 2 thumbs down. So anyway, listen, I think we've talked this subject to death a little bit here. I want to thank you again for coming on, Nub, and Willow as well, and being so generous with your time. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Guys, thank you for watching. I'm sure you guys have a lot of thoughts and opinions. Go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and check out Nub's channel as well. That will be linked in the show notes below as well. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.